Welcome to Instant Discussions.
Ice Bucket Water Challenge for Down syndrome children.
Oh, changing it up now?
Yeah, changing it up.
Yeah, people stopped doing that like a few weeks ago. Get it? Because delayed time.
Yeah.
Posting things. All right, today we are discussing Sharknado, kind of related to, ice water challenge things.
And Down syndrome.
First of all, we're in a drought and they do this movie. What a waste of water.
It's natural. It's
True.
natural, man. That's all. No, it was all CGI water in that. They didn't use any real water.
Like
Don't
at all.
be ridiculous.
Wait,
That was real water and
You
real
mean
sharks.
there was fake water even though there was no splashing on the ground at some points?
This movie, made for television movie, so not made for theaters, although it got enough ratings that they decided to release it in theaters afterwards, just like 1 or 2 days. Produced for the Sci-Fi channel, and it originally aired on July 11th, 2013. So this is a kind of recent movie for Netflix.
Yeah.
We were doing recently, we just did Journey to the West, which was also a 2013 film, so they do get some recent ones on there. Though with made-for-TV movies, I think it's a little quicker to put them up there
Yeah, definitely.
because you're not buying into the DVD sales as much or anything like that. So, yes.
God, this
I'm
movie.
just trying to figure out how many awards it won.
It hasn't. It's not time yet for the. I mean,
Zero.
It didn't. It because it.
Zero's your answer.
It initially aired on television, so it couldn't have won an Academy Award.
But then it was
could
released
win
in
some
theaters.
Emmys. Yeah,
Okay.
but because it did its initial run on television, if you show it on television first, you cannot get an Academy Award because it's a made-for-TV movie,
Zero.
and that doesn't.
That's
doesn't work.
awful.
It will
Okay.
never get an award.
But it is eligible. It would be eligible for an Emmy.
Okay.
Because since it's a television production. So, you picked this movie.
Yeah, written by Thunder Levin.
First question, why did you pick this movie?
I'd actually already seen this movie.
Oh yeah, I would hope so. 'Cause-
Surprisingly, the second time watching it isn't as good.
What? Say
The
this is
first time-
so.
The first time watching it is just hilarious. You're not sure if they're trying to be serious or not. The whole time I was watching with my kid and we're just busting up because of how awful it is. The second time around, not so much.
I've heard interviews with the main cast, and they were being serious with it at least. At least the main cast was, but they were hoping that no one would ever watch it because they, Ian Ziering and Tara Reid, they're not in the heights of any career. So when they got offered the part, they're like, I need to eat, I need a paycheck. So I'm going to take this. It's just going to be a stupid sci-fi movie like all the other ones. No one's going to watch it, and we'll just get the money and get it over with. And it had a different title when it was first being produced. Let me see if I can quickly find it here. I don't know. It had a different title that was a more serious title to it. And they read the script and saw that it was crap, but they needed the work.
Are you saying that Sharknado is
So
the serious title?
Yeah, they were halfway through production. They're like, oh, by the way, it's going to be called Sharknado. And they're like, seriously? Because that's a ridiculous title for a film. So they were not happy with that. But they were trying their best. The actors were trying their best in this, whether or not the rest of the production team was as serious with it. But it's kind of in the vein of what Sci-Fi's been doing. For years, Sci-Fi's been making original movies that were cheap, low-budget films, but doing these crazy science fiction premises. And a lot inspired by not only some of the movies that they had, Mystery Science Theater 3000, which was on Sci-Fi beforehand and also on Comedy Central. So they would do movies like that, but also they would produce like Cube 2 Hypercube, the sequel to the movie Cube. And so they said, oh, this is a great independent movie that was made, let's produce a sequel for it. And they do that with other films, and they would make original movies, and they'd actually try with them. Then they started making some of the shark-based movies, the
Make a Shark.
yeah, things like that. But they would get into these weird kind of films, and then they started being so cheesy that people were watching them for how bad they were. And so this was coming out of the things with Sharktopus, the half shark, half an octopus, around movies of that time where it was just they're doing it as a laugh. They're not taking themselves seriously with it. And so this was the one that just caught on huge after that. Yeah.
Based on a true story.
Not at all.
Think they knew what they were doing, and I don't know how you get confused about whether this movie was serious or not.
No, if the actors were taking it serious. That was my question.
Oh, well.
If they were trying to
It didn't look as bad. Like, if you look at the satire movies, in quotes, that you see coming out nowadays that are supposed to be satire but are really just reference movies, the scary movies and epic movies and all whatever they call, those ones, you can tell that they're not taking it seriously. They're in on the joke.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're horrible because of that. And the acting is just... It's so bad because they're not trying to be serious. They're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But in this, even though it's bad acting in it, it does look like they are trying
to be serious.
The actors are at least trying because they don't know what the CGI is going to go around them. They don't know what's
going for
gonna happen.
melodrama or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're at least putting something in there. At least
And
the lead actor.
that's like kind of what happened with Leslie Nielsen's career, right?
Yeah.
Because he was a serious dramatic actor, and then he just showed up in Airplane.
Yeah.
And rocked
Just
it.
being dramatic, like deadpan dramatic.
Just
and
like Ian
work with that.
Ziering or whatever his name is.
But there's not really
Killing
like
it.
I didn't really see the comedy going around it in this one.
It's just so awful. The CGI was awful.
Yeah, it was
The
bad
physics
CGI, but it's
of everything going on there was just like
Yeah,
television
it's so awful, isn't it? Right?
right at the beginning when the shark jumps like onto the ship and it just like starts munching and just pulls it the guy in just like magic like
slurping up like spaghetti.
it was like what the hell is this awful movie?
So let's go with favorite parts about the movie mixed in with that favorite kills. You can go both killing the sharks or sharks killing people. In that way.
I like the fact that every time they got shot, they got blown away by a
Yeah.
simple pistol.
This guy's got a handgun, shoots the physics of that.
But then there was the 5 shotgun shells in the house.
Yeah.
Right? She had to shoot that shark 5 fucking times.
Okay. The guy, they get to whatever place where the hangar or whatever. They get out of the car and they're like, we need to get some better weapons. Yeah, I hate having this thing. He's got a crowbar and tosses it down. Like, I hate that stupid weapon. Oh no, the door's locked. How are we gonna get in there?
She had a key.
Well, we'll shoot it with the shotgun. You had a crowbar. It was right there.
Oh yeah.
You much better to open a door with than a shotgun. Wasting your ammo.
Not as cool though.
And 2, risking the ricochet. Stupid people.
And those homemade bombs. They were
Yeah.
very realistic.
Smoke detectors, man.
Yeah.
They just like put their fingers in and were like messing with the smoke detector.
I like that there were a couple of Jaws references in there. They're trying to get them in. They said that we were going to need the bigger helicopter. That was kind of lame. But I like the one kill where they put the oxygen tank into the shark and shot it, and they just like banana peeled open. It's so ridiculous.
One other great kill. I have so many. Is there like in this much water?
Yeah.
It's like this shallow.
Yeah. And he was like biting the guy's ankles there. The shark couldn't he couldn't fit in that much water.
And then they show like inside the pool, but it's obviously in the ocean. It's just a vast ocean, but they're in the pool.
Oh, I can't even really. We can't even really split this into best parts and worst parts because they're kind of mixed together. Like the best things are the worst. Worst parts in it.
Yeah.
I kept on laughing at the end when the sharks are coming and he's like, and it's poosh, like the Force or something.
It was just like a fucking pistol.
Yeah.
If the shark's
I was
coming down on
laughing
you
a
and you
lot
shoot it with a
about
pistol,
that.
it's not gonna fly away. They never give. Whenever time they were in the car, they would show them in the car, really tight in the car. You couldn't see outside. Then they would show stuff going on that you couldn't tell if it was anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Is it going?
You just had to presume
maybe
or
that this is around them.
Maybe that's danger near them.
And then there was
maybe
a car.
that's in
At one point, there was a
Toledo.
car that I thought was their car that they were in, and it gets washed off by a wave, and they react to that as like someone else's car. It's like, oh, I guess that wasn't them. There's no reference points or where they are around them. So it's like they're just showing you the stock. It's kind of like Ed Wood type thing when he would do. It's just like the stock footage around them, but it's not even stock footage in this. Like they're making this CGI junk.
The stock footage comes across when it's they look outside and there's just these huge waves.
Yeah.
And then it's like overhead view and it's just the beach.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's kind of fun seeing the Santa Monica Pier destroyed and the Ferris wheel. Any film where you get a runaway Ferris wheel. Though it didn't go too far.
no.
I want to see it slice through some buildings and be ridiculous like that. But
See,
it
it
just
was realistic.
crashed. Yeah,
It
that
went
was
for real,
probably the
wasn't
most
it?
realistic part was how it didn't go crazy.
And I like how
slice through everything.
he's married to Tara Reid, and their like daughter is just like within 10 years of Tara Reid, it would seem.
Yeah. It did feel like that.
yeah.
Especially their son. When you think about the son, because the son's even older.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And then he ends up with the chick at the end, which was
I-
kind of weird.
as much as there's a lot of bad actors in this film, I think Tara Reid's definitely the worst
Yeah,
of
she's
anyone in
really
this. Yeah. The unknown people were a lot better, except for the school bus, the school teacher.
bad. Oh god.
The
My mom always said Hollywood would kill me. Smash.
Why do you know the joke thing coming in is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the storm
And it-
drain where the just sharks are coming out and going in.
Why the problem? Yeah, there's probably being shot out of the storm drains in there.
Yeah.
When they get to the school bus, all school buses have the escape on top, the emergency
Oh, yeah, they
escape
do.
hatch on top. And if the waters were rising, they're worried about the sharks, and they opened the back door on it. So many problems with them. Just
Yeah, there were some.
and the guy opens the
Some is an understatement.
he opens the curtains, and so that by looking out the curtains, the window explodes with the shark coming through. The husband, the
Oh
the
yeah,
boyfriend.
yeah. He's like, what's going on back there?
And like that, it makes it look like the cause and effect
Yeah.
of him opening the curtains makes the window collapse.
And I like how Tara Reid and the kids like didn't really care that he just
No.
got
And then
like at all.
They keep being like, I don't care why you're talking about sharks raining down. This you're not supposed to be around here until weekends.
I'm
It's
not,
not the
I
20s.
can't. I just can't. All the continuity errors you guys are reminding me of, I just can't fucking point out.
No, it's everything. Every frame of this is a
Every
continuity
fucking
error.
frame. Like the water in the house, and then later there's no water outside, and the house is somehow like
Still water damage.
retaining all this water, and
So
their
good.
car's fine, even though that was enough force to fucking push the guy across the room.
Oh,
And I bet you would never thought what the scars were on her leg. There's no way you could have.
No way you would have known that.
I never
Figured it
guessed.
out.
That was actually the point where I went to use the restroom as I was watching the movie. I'm like, as soon as she starts talking about the scars, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen here. I'm just gonna walk out.
See, I thought it was Willie being the dream, like, nightmare guy, whatever his name is, Freddy Krueger, Willie.
Willie.
Yeah.
Willie Krueger's
With his fucking rake.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
obviously Freddy Krueger. That's where they get Sharknado versus Freddy Krueger in the next one.
Oh my
movie.
lord! Don't even tease like that.
Freddy versus Sharknado.
Where was the old dude
Yes,
from? He was from something.
Which old dude? The old guy in
The
the bar at the
drunk?
beginning?
Who just
Oh.
happened to be like super rich?
That was his stool was my favorite part of the movie.
just like
Yes, his stool. He was my favorite part of the movie. That, hands down.
why?
He's great.
Just because he carried a stool with him?
Yeah. That was great. I liked that.
John Hurd, not John Hurt.
Then he fucking died. And then I was bored.
I don't know. He's been in some things. Not too-
Never heard of him.
Oh, he was in the first 2 installments of Home Alone.
That's where he's from. Home Alone
Yeah.
Dad. That's how I remember him.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, he hasn't done much then.
No, Sharknado shows up on his list of notable films, so that's not.
And what
a
about
good
the
sign.
ending? When he comes out of the shark?
It was such an abrupt ending.
Or when she fucking comes out of the
Exactly.
fucking shark.
The problem is, you hear so much about the films. This was my first time watching the movie. And you hear so much about these things that I already know that it ends with the chainsawing out of the shark at the end. So when I saw him jump into the shark with the chain, like when I saw him grabbing the chainsaw, I'm like, I knew he was going to get that because of what happens.
It wasn't surprising anyway.
No, I knew it wouldn't have been surprising anyway. But
I thought he was gone forever.
And then when you start hearing the chainsaw sounds, and this happens in a lot of movies, like something like that happens, and they're looking around like, what's going on? I think you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think there's not too much of a question if you hear the chainsaw sound in there. Okay, he's probably safe, and now it's just a matter of time before he gets his way out of there.
Okay, and then I don't know if you noticed, but when he jumps into the shark's mouth, there's an awful, awful sound, like, It's so bad.
What I noticed is that it seemed to me the shark grew in size enormously from the time that it was coming down on him, and then he was chainsawing out.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like
When he
a
opened
little
him up-
bigger than him when it jumped down on him, and then he opened it up, and it's like his width now is
It's
higher
like,
than.
he's like Kirby. These
than
sharks
him.
are like Kirby.
You want to know what would have made me just look way more happier at the end?
What?
Is if like when he chainsaws out, like, what's her name? What's her fucking name?
She's not a stripper.
The girl, Nova.
Nova, yeah.
And then
Stupid name.
and then he's just like fucking crying, and then out comes like the split in half Nova because he went chainsaw first into the shark.
That would have been cool.
That would have made me really happy.
Yeah, but they gotta be all like heroic ending.
I like his name too.
Finn. Get it? Because
Finley
shark.
Finn Shepherd. At the end it just says Finn.
Finn. Get it? Because sharks.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Academy Award stuff.
Whoa, this movie. Okay.
Only $2 million to make.
This movie actually, yeah, it.
Can you believe that?
It cost $2 million to make. They spent $2 million on this. Is the other way to say that. They spent $2 million on this.
I'm happy this film was made and that I saw it for the reason that I am a big admirer of parody films, and I thought that one of the main key things you needed to have was all your actors acted seriously and
Yes.
like essentially melodramatic, and I thought that was a key, and that was why a lot of films like Epic Movie and all those pieces of shit were just terrible because they didn't act serious. They just were fucking around, and no one wants to fucking see that.
No.
But an airplane...
They're reference movies.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
hearing
exactly.
someone comment on them.
This does neither reference nor...
No. Well, it does Jaws references, but
that's
you got to pay homage if you're doing a big shark movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it did have the actors take it seriously, but still, just for me, it's a piece of garbage.
Yeah. This movie has an 82% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
This is a fresh movie, if you will. So that's the positive negative side of things. The average is 6.1. So 6.1 out of 10, just barely over halfway. So yeah, most people they kind of like this movie.
Yeah, they kind of like it.
But a lot of people agree that they're like, okay. And I think it's part of that was because this was the first of that kind. It was in a long series of just bad movies. But it had something that grabbed people, that they tuned in more to watch it, and they were having fun watching the campiness of it. So,
I think Steffan agrees with David Hinckley of the New York Daily News.
Sharknado is an hour and a half of your life that you'll never get back, and you won't want to. Aww.
As in, you won't want to watch it again.
No, as in you won't want to get that time back, so you're glad that you watched it.
Oh, is that what? I didn't read the last part. Oh,
No,
he doesn't agree with that.
to.
Okay.
No, because that last sentence there.
Besides the last sentence.
No, it's true that you won't get that.
You don't want to get it back because it just reminds you that you watched the fucking film in the first place. Just don't want any kind of memory.
There's a Sharknado the video game.
What?
Of course there is.
I like the Sharknado 2 name.
The
second one.
Yeah, they crowdsourced the name on that one.
Oh,
They had
really?
people vote on what the second film should be named, and it's a ridiculous title for a ridiculous movie, I guess.
Just the premise of a shark tornado is just amazing. Who like when you're sitting around a table?
It would
and
just be
you're
the
throwing
dead
out
weight of them
ideas.
that would be the problem on that. Like they'd crush your windshields and stuff, but that's about it that the sharks would have a problem with. Maybe if the speed's fast enough and the sharks are in there and the teeth cut you, like you can get cut by them, but you're not gonna. It's first of all, sharks don't even attack humans for prey anyway. It's just if they confuse you.
Yeah, unless there's a shit ton of blood in the area.
Yeah, but there's more humans that kill sharks than sharks that kill humans anyway.
Yeah, who's the real animal?
But what I'm saying is
yourself.
that people were sitting out at a table and just I'd love to see the process of this getting greenlit.
Well,
just
it's
pitching
easy for them
it,
to
just
to get the movie
Shark Tornado,
greenlit
though.
because they've been doing other types of movies like that. Like this seems ridiculous and it involves sharks and people like sharks. For $2 million for them to spend on that film and say that's pretty cheap for a television movie. Well, it's a good price for a television movie. So you put that out there and you hope to get a good amount of ratings on it. And they got way better ratings than they thought they would. But it was just going to be their stupid movie of the year for Sci-Fi, and so yeah, it's easy to get it greenlit. The harder part is to get the actors in it. And with the second one, there were more actors that wanted to be in it because this is fun. I want to be in this stupid movie.
Oh, really?
So it's a stupid movie, but they set out to make a stupid movie. Yeah, Vivica A. Fox, Kelly Osbourne, Judah Friedlander from 30 Rock, so that's kind of cool. There's a bunch of cameos that I heard in there. Mark McGrath from that band. So, you know.
My worst part is when George died, and then the heart and soul of the movie was gone. He was the heart and soul.
Yeah,
of
he would have been more interesting to watch for a lot of it.
Seriously, would have been so much.
The
more
main cast
interesting
just
to watch.
wasn't really interesting in it.
I wish he was more
I
skeezy.
didn't care much about them.
And I didn't feel him like fucking around. I felt like he was taking it serious too.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. There was still a little bit in there where he is kind of having fun, but in a good amount of fun. Yeah. So
I'll say I didn't. If there was moments like that, I still enjoyed them.
Okay.
At least more than.
And the film does have a third out scheduled for next year, so
Oh, nice.
there will be
God,
a
I
full
don't want to
trilogy
live on this
of
planet
this.
anymore.
You don't have to watch them. That's the thing. Unless Tony picks them, you don't have to watch them.
No, the 81% fucking fresh. I don't
Well,
want to live on
that's-
this planet anymore.
I think it caught the people by surprise in the right way. And if you were just stumbling onto television and saw it, and without any hype behind it of just being this is another one of those sci-fi movies, and here also you're getting drunk with your friends and watching the thing, you might have fun making fun of the movie.
You know, you're right.
That
Most critics are alcoholics.
No, I'm saying that's probably why a lot of these. Actually, most critics probably are alcoholics.
That's what
But I'm
critics are
thinking
probably
most of the
alcoholics.
fun of this movie comes from that. It comes from like
It
going with
stinks.
the riff tracks. It stinks. Going with riff tracks and laughing at the movie. It's not a movie that you watch to say, look at the cinematic genius of this. It's let's have fun laughing at it. Still, it shouldn't have that high of a rating on Rotten Tomatoes for that type of movie. You want to laugh at a movie that's got a 0%. You don't want to laugh at a movie that's got an 85%.
Okay, I just for fun looked up Death to Smoochie, and that has a 42% of Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
And I really love that movie.
No,
It's a great
that
fucking
movie is fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
That was
movie.
my first rewatch. When,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love this movie, and it's a 42, and this is 81.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to live on this fucking planet anymore.
At least the sequel got a 48%, which is a lot lower, but still too high.
Oh, right, it's out.
Yeah.
Well, that's because your novelty's gone, right?
Yeah, the novelty's gone for that, so it's lower. Although I would have hoped that would have been a lot lower for a sequel on that, but too many people would have just drinking the Kool-Aid with that, I guess. So, star ratings on this, sir.
Well, I guess I kind of have to give it a 2.
Kind of do.
Originally, I gave it a lot higher when I hadn't. I've only seen it once, and it was really funny.
Yeah, the novelty of it.
The second time around, it is fucking awful. But there's still that corniness, that funness, so I'll go ahead and give it a 2. Just for
I must have an advanced palate because even on my first watch, I give it a 2.
I give it a 2.
Yeah, we're in agreement.
I'm
Tony,
still depressed
you
because
could-
you rated it higher than There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
God.
And I can't rate it a 1 because
No,
you
yeah.
don't do
I can't-
that
no,
to a movie.
I can't rate it a 1. No, because I liked the drunk.
There were elements. In this
There were
that-
elements.
They put good work into this, at least. For,
There's nothing
a little
good
bit
about
of
There
that.
Will Be Blood. There's nothing. I hate that movie.
Holy shit.
I'm also upset with you because, well, you had only watched it once. You thought it was higher. What did you rate it the first time? Or what were you thinking of it the first
I
time?
don't know.
I think the first time, I probably maybe like a 3.5.
Right. So you brought in a 3.5 movie to us.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I just felt it was good conversation. I think.
Sure,
We had to
no.
talk- we had to talk-
No,
Fun.
this was. I think this was a fine pick. It's just
I
a
was
piece
yeah.
of garbage.
It is a piece of garbage. I was hoping I never got to watch this one with the riff tracks when they did it live. I was hoping that would be my first experience watching it because just laughing with it. So at least I got to see it, so I know what people are talking about. Though I think I didn't really need to understand what people are talking about.
I will say, all of Geek Lord tried to watch this film but couldn't. They stopped the movie.
They stopped the movie?
They stopped it like a third of the way through.
They didn't get to see that glorious end with the
Yeah,
chainsaw.
the payout.
And I bet I'm gonna ask him, be like, was it after the drunk died? I'm gonna totally ask him now.
That's when they were out.
That's when they were out. It's
I
like,
think
I
at
can't
the
do
school
this
bus
film.
scene, that would be a part where I'd seen out of this.
Oh yeah, they
But
drugged that.
they dragged that, but luckily they didn't drag the whole thing out. And I had predicted it. I was like, they're gonna show 2 of them, and they're gonna cut, and a bunch of them are gonna be saved. And yeah, this was.
And that guy had to be somebody's cousin or something.
Yeah.
The bus driver, he was just horrible.
You do it for $20 in a sandwich, I'm sure. All right, thanks for watching this. Next week, I'm going to bring in a bit of a palate cleanser, I hope at least. So,
Please.
I hadn't done a blind
please.
pick before. Like you guys have each done blind picks.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been doing a lot.
so I looked on Netflix at the ratings that the suggested movies for me.
Oh, okay.
And I had to go onto the website for it. The mobile app didn't really work as well, but there was one film that it rated to me at almost 5 stars, higher than any other film on Netflix. So I felt if I'm gonna gamble with something, I'm gonna gamble with that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be from way back in 1950s some odd, 12 Angry Men.
Holy shit.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
No, in black and white movies
this
are
is-
awful.
This is a weird one for me because it's one that
I can't believe you haven't seen
I know
that,
most people were
John.
surprised with it for me that I
can't
haven't seen
believe
this
that.
movie. It's right in my wheelhouse, but so I'm excited to get to watch it. So it's a blind pick, but it's also a blind pick that
Wow.
it's
Alright.
not too much blind. All right, so
It's a good
12
film.
Angry Men next week.
Much better.
Yeah, and thanks.
We
for,
don't know that yet.
Thanks for going. We don't know that yet. He knows, but thanks for sharking it out with us.
Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, and I apologize whenever Sharknado 2 gets on Instant Watch. Hopefully we'll
I'm sorry there's even a threequel.
or a squeakle.
It's a trilogy. It's
Bye.
the trilogy.